Let us continue the D block elements. General properties we were seeing. So next property is heat of atomization. Heat of atomization. What is heat of atomization? Whatever the enthalpy change when the bonds of the compound are broken into its component atoms or individual atoms, we call it as the heat of atomization. Okay, so we can say that it is similar to melting point, and here chromium has the highest heat of atomization. Why? Because it has 6 unpaired electrons. That is 3d, 5 and 4s1. So how many electrons are there? Since unpaired electrons are there. Okay, so force of attraction between the electrons will be the highest, therefore more energy will be required. Hai na? Energy is required to remove the unpaired electrons, and thus heat of atomization is higher. If you see that the trend of the atomization, 3D series is having most, and then 4D series, and then 5D series. So what is the reason for this? So greater the number of valence electrons, what is the reason here? Greater the number of valence electrons, stronger is the interatomic attraction. Stronger will be the bonding, resulting in higher heat of atomization. So stronger the atomic you can see the electrons are same on both, but you can see the interatomic attraction, it will be more in 3D as compared to 4D and 5D, so heat of atomization will also be highest. Next, melting point. Melting point, they are having very low volatility, so melting point and boiling point will be more D block elements. Okay, you know that the melting point is dependent on either hydrogen bonding or van der Waals force or metallic bonding. So here the bonding is very strong. Also the elements, the atoms are arranged symmetrically also in these elements. So what you will see that due to these factors, you can say that melting point is more. And if you see the elements chromium, molybdenum and tungsten, they come under 6th group. That is, this is 3D, 4D and 5D. This has the highest melting point because it has highest unpaired electrons. Okay. So more the number of unpaired electrons, more will be the melting point. Okay. I hope you have understood. Then next is some of the elements like manganese and zinc, they have less boiling point. Why? So these two have, Mn has 3d5 and 4s2, and this has 3d10 4s2. So one is fully filled, half filled, and the other is fully filled. So this is having stable electronic configuration, and metallic bond depends upon the charge of the cation and the number of delocalized. So here chromium, manganese and zinc has stable configuration. Therefore they won't like to lose the electrons, and therefore weak metallic bonding will be there, and thus low boiling point. Okay, that is the reason. I hope you have understood this. Next, magnetic property. Magnetic property. These elements, when they kept in the magnetic field, they show the magnetic behavior. And you know that when the substances are kept in the magnetic field, either there are two types of magnetic materials. One is the paramagnetic and the other is diamagnetic. So substances which are attracted by the magnetic field, we call it as paramagnetic, and the diamagnetic which are repelled by the magnetic. And the paramagnetic substance, you know that they have unpaired electrons, and only it will be paramagnetic. Whereas in the diamagnetic, the presence of unpaired electron is not there. Means you don't get. That means absence of unpaired electrons is there. Okay. And the magnetic moment mu is equal to under root n plus 2, where n is equal to number of unpaired electrons. Okay. Number of unpaired electrons. For example, scandium. Scandium number of electrons is 1. So 1 plus 2 under root will be root 3. Or you can say that how much 1 point something will be the if you take titanium you will get root 2, root 8. For chromium you will get root 48. So 6. So maximum number of unpaired electrons is in chromium. Okay. So magnetic moment will also be more. Next is color of compounds. These elements are colored by many transition elements. They are colored. Why? Because of the incompletely filled n-1d subshells. For example, if we take iron, it has argon as configuration 3d, 6 and 4s2. Okay. So this is because there is means it is asked that why the transition elements are colored. So first reason is due to the dd transition. Electrons, when they gain energy, they can jump to orbitals in the d orbitals. One thing you will study it in the coordination compounds, but just I am giving the explanation that there are how many d orbitals, 5 d orbitals, and electrons are there, 10 electrons are there, or whatever it is incompletely, so whatever electrons will be there. Now this d orbitals in the isolated atom, you have dxy, then dx square, dx and dz square, then dyz and dx square minus y square. So I written in two categories because these three have same energy and these have the same energy. Okay, so when electrons they get excited when they gain energy, it gets split into two, that is T2g and Eg orbitals. T2g is having three, that is dxy, dx, uh, dx, dzx, sorry, dzx and dz square. These are T2g. And Eg will be dx, yz and dx square minus yz. So the electrons can go to this and this when the electrons are getting energy. So means we can say these are also d orbitals, these are d orbitals. So transition is there from d orbitals to d orbitals. So because of this this is called DD transition. So because of this DD transition, electrons can easily transfer from one level to the another, from this level to this level. And by when they go from one level to another, they absorb energy. Okay, and when they absorb energy, the color color is given when it releases energy after coming to the ground state. When they get excited, they undergo transition and they absorb the energy, and the color is given when they come back to the ground state. So that is the reason. So what is DD transition? You have understood, I think. Then on what factors the color depend? First, we have seen that the presence of unpaired electrons. Then, if these elements are attached along with the ligands, then it will depend upon the nature of the ligand and geometry of the complex. For example, VO2 plus is yellow in color, vanadium oxide. CrO42 minus is deep yellow in color. MnO4 is purple in color. And Cr2O7 is orange in color. Hope you have understood this topic, that is the colored, why the transition elements are colored. Then next is alloys. So these elements have the property to form the alloys. They means the metals can be mixed together and thus the properties can be enhanced by making the alloys. We have seen that the copper and zinc, it is what? Brass. Then copper with tin is known as, copper and tin is brass, and copper and zinc is bronze. Where there is Z, that is Zn, it will be bronze. Okay, in this way you can remember, otherwise always we forget. Gunmetal and bell metal, it is of copper, tin and zinc. This is gunmetal, or we call it as bell metal also. Then stainless steel is iron plus some of the elements like chromium, vanadium, tungsten, molybdenum. These are the elements that are used for the production of variety of steels. So these elements are added in very small quantity to change the property. If you have Fe, then nickel and carbon, then you call it as stainless steel. Okay, steel. Then next is, that's all alloys. Next is catalytic properties. This is also an important property of these elements, that is catalytic properties. So why they show the catalytic properties? Because of the presence of empty d orbitals, you can say, or unpaired electrons, you know. So empty d orbitals, then they have large surface area, and you know that this large surface area, it is an important property for an element to show the catalytic property that you studied in surface chemistry. Then variable oxidation state. These elements have variable oxidation state and they have the ability to form complexes. So these are the some of the property that helps the elements to show the catalytic properties. Okay. Now let us see some examples. If you go through the 3D series, scandium is not used as a catalyst. Then titanium. Titanium is used in Ziegler catalyst, Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Okay. It is titanium chloride and Et3 aluminium. Et3 means triethylene aluminium. That is, I will write C2H5 3 times aluminium. So this is what? Et3Al. So this is known as Ziegler-Natta's catalyst. Vanadium pentoxide is used in contact process. Chromium and manganese is used as catalyst, are also used as catalyst. Then FeCl3, you know, it is used in Friedel-Crafts reaction, and so on. So many metals and their compounds, they act as the catalyst, or means from the d block elements. So you can see how important these elements are, these d block elements. Okay. Then oxidation state and this reduction potential, that you will see in the next chapter. Okay. So in this video I am concluding this video. Okay.